We've all heard the saying, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Well, that's exactly what these mysterious drones in New Jersey are doing. We sat back for an entire month now, allowing these things to fly and hover and float in the sky without doing a single thing about it. And now they have been emboldened. Whoever is flying these things, whoever is behind this, they have been emboldened, and now they are branching out. We gave them an inch. Now they're taking a mile. Now they're not just flying over New Jersey. Now there's reports that they're flying over Philadelphia, and now they've branched off into flying over portions of New York as well. And I really feel like this region of the country up north would take this a lot more seriously than what they are. You know, if these drones were flying around, the middle of nowhere down south, or they were flying somewhere in the Midwest, that would be one thing. It would still be a cause for concern. But you would think that up here in New York, in this region, y'all dealt with 9/11 and stuff like that, right? So y'all should be more vigilant. Y'all should be more worried about mysterious objects flying in the sky. And I mean, at this rate, how long is it going to be before these things are flying throughout Manhattan? I mean, let's just be real. If we're not going to do anything about it, and it's been a month and nothing has been done, so if we continue to not do anything about this, they're going to continue to branch out and fly further and further inland. They're going to fly over all types of different areas in America, right? And my thing is this: what are we waiting for? Are we waiting for a tragedy here? We could have nipped this problem in the bud, but we didn't. So what exactly are we waiting for? Are we waiting for a tragedy to happen? Because, I mean, listen, one of these things could fly too high and hit an airplane, get caught up in an airplane engine, maybe collide with a helicopter. We know that these things have already stopped medvac helicopters from rescuing patients. So there's only a matter of time before there's some type of mid-air collision, or even worse, because we don't know what the plan is. These things are flying in every day and then they're disappearing and flying away. You know what I mean? So who's to say that after 30 days nonstop of flying these things over New Jersey, that on the 31st day, they could decide, hey, we're going to attach a weapon to this drone today. We're going to do something really crazy with this drone today. You know what I mean? Who's there to stop it? Because no one's been there to stop these drones. Now, as I've explained before, as of right now, up until this point, they haven't caused any physical harm. But if they wanted to, what would stop them? Because once they're in the sky, and if no one's going to shoot them down, then they can inflict whatever damage that they want to. I mean, I would think that, right? Because my point is this. All right, yeah, we're lucky that they haven't done anything yet that we know of. But if their intention was to do something bad from the get-go, then they could have done it and gotten away with it. Because the fact that they were just allowed to fly over New Jersey with nothing being done about it, it lets you know that, oh, okay, during that first flight, if they wanted to do something crazy, they could have. Luckily, they didn't, as far as we know. But hey, they had the opportunity. And it looks like we're giving them a boatload more opportunities. But hopefully, the more this stretches out and the more areas these drones start to cover, something, someone, somewhere will take a stand and do something about it. Right now, they're talking about how these things have been flying over Staten Island. I want to go ahead and roll this news clip really quickly because now people in Staten Island and other areas are starting to freak out because they thought, oh, this is just happening in New Jersey. Nothing to see here. It's just New Jersey. That's the mentality everyone has. Oh, it's not affecting me directly. I'm not going to worry about it until it affects me directly. So now the people of Staten Island and Philadelphia are finding out the hard way. Let's roll this news clip and then I'll be right back with more.
We've been reporting on these mysterious drones, and it's led elected officials to take action on Staten Island.
Yeah, a letter was sent to the FBI requesting flight restrictions over the entire borough. Their complaints join others in New Jersey, where people are still questioning where the drones are coming from. News 4's Jen Maxfield covering this today. She's live in Wharton, New Jersey, with what she's learned. Jen?
And David and Natalie, we are here in Morris County, just a couple miles away from the Picatinny Arsenal. That is a military manufacturing and research facility. And look, people who live in this area are accustomed to equipment testing here, but residents tell us what they have been seeing in the skies this week is like nothing they have ever seen before. On Tuesday night at around 8 p.m., Phil Doyle and his wife Maureen went out on their back patio when they heard buzzing overhead. He says they saw dozens of flying objects believed to be drones, which have now been reported in 8 northern and central New Jersey counties starting the week before Thanksgiving. This video was taken in their backyard. Now that is less than 5 miles from the Picatinny Arsenal, a U.S. Army base. The Doyles, who live in Oak Ridge, say they saw dozens of these objects believed to be drones coming from the direction of Picatinny and heading northwest.
One goes over and another comes by, so it's not like 2 or 3 a night. It's probably 30 or 50 a night.
30 to 50 drones flying overhead.
Yeah, and they have lights on them so you can follow them in the sky.
What do you think of the government response so far?
Yeah, it's typical of the government. You know, they may know, they may not know. So, but a lot of them seem to come from the Picatinny Arsenal area, which is, like you said, just the other side of the hill, and who knows what they're doing.
Well, we checked in with some of those government agencies. Governor Murphy's office said nothing new since yesterday when he said he was in touch with Homeland Security. And the FBI also told us nothing new to report, but they are asking people to send them tips and video. Now, as you mentioned at the top of the story, these drones have also been spotted over Staten Island. Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis saying today that she's asking the FAA to impose a temporary drone flight restriction in the area. Some of her concern there that these drones are flying over the Howland Hook Terminal. That's a container port facility here in New Jersey, obviously flying near Picatinny and also over some reservoirs and rail stations. That leading the Florham Park mayor yesterday to call the presence of these drones nefarious or unlawful.
You know, it was just a couple of days ago that I was saying that if these things aren't stopped, it's only a matter of time before they're flying overhead in a city near you or me. And look, just within 2 days, these things are no longer just in New Jersey. Now they're flying over Philadelphia, portions of Pennsylvania, portions of New York. And if you ask me, I feel like whoever is behind this is trying to send a message. I feel like they're trying to send a message like, hey, this is how easily you can be touched. Just using these simple drones, we can infiltrate your airspace, fly right over your country. We can fly right over your military bases. We're capable of doing this. We're capable of doing that. I believe they sent the U.S. military, the U.S. government, and the people of America, the people of the U.S., a clear message that, hey, you aren't untouchable. In fact, you're way more vulnerable than you think you are, right? Now, I don't know about you all, but I've gotten that message loud and clear. And I believe that folks in Washington, D.C., and the Pentagon, folks in the military have gotten that message as well. But what we have to look at here is what type of message are we sending back? If this is an enemy military really sending a message here, which I think it is, if that's the case, and they are sending this message loud and clear that we can be touched, we can fly over your military bases. We know where certain things are stored. We could fly over the golf course that, your president's golf course. If they're sending this message to us loud and clear, and our response is to just sit back and not do a damn thing, what type of message is that sending back? You see, folks, the world is a very tough place. A very tough, wild and crazy, violent place. And there are messages being sent every day, everywhere, from different world leaders, different militias, different armies. That's why often when you see a strike on one country, you see that the country has to retaliate with a strike that's just that severe. It's about sending messages, right? So if a foreign enemy, if an enemy military is sending us a message that we can do this, we can do that, and our message that we're sending back is, hey, We're just going to sit here and scratch our heads and act confused for an entire month as you spy on our military bases and fly over our president's golf course and terrorize people in New Jersey. If our message that we send back is just a blank message that we're not doing anything, then what does that tell our enemies? It emboldens our enemies even further. And it's just like I said earlier, folks. We didn't nip this problem in the bud when these things were simply flying over New Jersey. We did not send a message loud and clear. The message that we sent was that we aren't going to do anything about it. So whoever's doing this, they got that message and they decided, okay, well, enough with New Jersey. Let's go to Philadelphia. Let's go to Staten Island. Let's go to New York City. So there are messages being exchanged here, right? And unfortunately for us here in America, it seems like the message that we're sending is, hey, we're not really going to do anything about it. And we're going to kind of cower away and act confused. And we don't really know what to do. A lot of the people running this country and in the military are incompetent right now anyway. And we're just going to tuck our tails and act confused and act like cowards as enemies are flying drones over our military bases, laughing in our faces. Now, I do think that sometime in the near future, when the next president takes over, I do think that we would probably send a different message. I'm hoping that things will change. I'm hoping that America will no longer be the laughingstock. I'm hoping people will no longer view us as weak. I'm hoping that we strengthen our military. I'm hoping that we get to a point where we don't hear about stuff like this anymore, because problems like this will be nipped in the bud immediately. But who knows what will happen? We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.